Welcome back to Wise Guys Barbecue, your place to learn everything you need to know about smoking wonderful barbecue meats. I'm joined with our famous trio, of course, my left-hand man, Charlie Baldwin. How you doing, Charlie?
Fantastic. Glad to be here.
Excellent. And we are super excited, aren't we, Charlie, to have Yesmin Morales.
Hey, hi.
Our wonderful celebrity reporter on everything YouTube news on barbecue cooks. So we're super excited after this action-packed weekend.
Crazy weekend, but a lot of fun. I was wiped, but a great time. Great time.
Yeah, I mean, we were down at Millers Crossing, Friends of Jake.
Fundraiser,
yeah, and competition where they had 17 amateur teams. A lot of them just turn out for this one event each year, and they were fantastic food. What a setup. They know how to get the crowd into it. They had this silent auction. I heard it got a little crazy at the end. Did you hear about that at the end?
I heard there was a little disagreement on the auction of some very fine liquor.
Yeah, Pappy
Van Winkle's.
Yes.
Which
you know what that is, Yasmin?
No.
It's a very select, rare whiskey. I don't think it's a bourbon. I think it's a whiskey. That it's crazy. I mean, usually they go $2,000 or $3,000 a bottle, and they had one there that they were auctioning.
2, I think.
Well, that's how it got crazy.
Oh.
So they started auctioning it off, and it got down to 2 bidders, and it got up to like $1,300 a bottle. So whoever the sponsor of the bottles was said, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to donate a second bottle, and you both can win them for $1,300 each. So they're like, yeah, that's great. We don't have to keep going higher and higher for one bottle. We both get a bottle. Super. They're happy. Boom. End of auction, right? No.
Wait a minute. I wanted to bid also.
Right. 3 and 4 said, wait a minute, you shut down the bidding and gave out 2 awards.
Yep.
We would have kept bidding. How do you know we didn't come over the top?
Yep.
And it got a little buggy, so they ended up donating back 1 bottle and re-auctioning it or something. Unfortunately, I couldn't say that.
They donated one of the bottles got donated back, and the bidding started at $1,300.
Aha. So
They started at 1,300. They didn't end it at 1,300.
No, originally it started at just open bidding, and then like Vin was saying, there was a little controversy with the guy was trying to do a good thing, saying, hey, these guys are putting up so much money, why don't we just get another bottle and we can make double the money, $2,600, and they can each have a bottle.
right.
But there was some other people bidding on the prize, and they're like, wait a minute, we weren't done bidding yet. I was gonna go higher than $1,300. So now you got a problem.
Maybe, right. Yeah, exactly. Like, why do you do that? So they were just unfairly shut out, they said. And I don't know, got a little nutty. I mean, I was out at 150. That was it. I was like counting the quarters in the backseat of my car, going, 75, 85, saying maybe I get up there, but no, it wasn't.
How much did you bid? Nothing?
I was long gone by the time that took place.
So Chip had the honor of his first judging experience, and I want to hear about that, Chip. How'd that go?
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a few minutes, but it was not an eye-opening experience, but it was a great experience learning from some of the other people that were more experienced than me.
Did they? You don't want to talk about it now?
No, we can talk about it. I just want to choke it.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want you to choke.
He's not the Nazi. He doesn't
Only
want to.
if
He
I'm
can't.
choking you is when I want you to choke to death.
Yeah, I'm worried about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't. You're not worried enough to notice that I'm not wearing my Patriot shirt.
Well, we lost.
I know.
So we lost, and it was a
God
tough
damn
one.
it! I wanted to wear that all
It's all
season.
part of the plan.
Last week, did you see last week's episode? I know you watch YouTube nonstop. Did you at least watch our YouTube?
I started watching it. That was it.
Oh, exactly. Well, you saw my shirt then. I had my Patriot shirt on.
Yep.
And because I was psyched that they won, and now I'm psyched that I'm not psyched that I can't.
Hey, you
wear
got
it
a week out of it.
Yeah, I got a solid week. Solid week out of it.
You'll get another week. Damn. The Patriots are what they are, and their offensive line. What you saw on Sunday night or Sunday afternoon was them trying to cover up their weaknesses. Their offensive linemen can run block.
Yeah.
Okay, they've got a good back in Stevenson. They can't pass block. They're very bad. So hence you didn't throw the ball very much.
Right.
So they were able to hide those weaknesses for a while. But then Seattle caught up and said, well, we're just going to put 9 people in the box and dare you to throw it. And we couldn't throw it.
That's it. Yeah.
I don't think it was a surprise. A lot of people on the radio today, complaining, oh, they don't do this. Listen, they have no offensive line. Their quarterback is a C+ guy. Not a bad guy, smart guy, but talent-wise is a C+. They can't put the new kid, they can't put Drake May in there, the rookie, because you saw what happened to Jacoby Brissett. He got killed.
Yes.
He was getting nailed. So you're not going to take your Corvette that you just bought and throw it in a demolition derby.
Right.
So I totally understand why they're hesitant to put this kid out there, because he's so inexperienced. And
But what's the next step? I mean, they can't.
the next step is next year. I'm assuming they
Next year,
address.
it's only week 3 going into week 3.
I know,
right?
but this has been the plan when you draft the quarterback number 3, which I did not want to draft a quarterback number 3. I wanted to take the offensive tackle.
what would be
out of
fantastic
Notre
at
Dame.
this? I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all right.
If we got Scott Radley in on one of these conversations, because he is like the Patriot analyst.
He's such a hater, though. I mean, hate. Hate. But yeah, I know he'd be worth an episode, definitely.
Yeah, he would.
But
he
anyway,
would teach,
so
he would teach me
you
a
didn't
lot. That's
you
for
didn't
sure.
you didn't address the offensive line this year, so you got to do it next year.
Gotcha.
And that's the plan. And they try to keep their rookie prized possession healthy.
Yeah.
No sense in getting the shit beat out of him in
Yeah.
a meaningless season.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm sure I'll get some feedback. I'll kick back from that opinion, but
Let them up, folks. Let them know what
light
you
me
think.
up. But I'm an offensive lineman, and I know how important and smart we are.
That's it. Doesn't matter how many Mustangs you have in the backfield. If you don't have those Clydesdales.
There's
up
no
front.
road. You're not driving.
Exactly. Do you watch football, Jasmine?
No, I was just thinking I would
Football
have to
to you
do
is
some more homework about football.
It's a different football for you, right? It's soccer.
You call it soccer. It's not my football.
So everything I said, I might as well have been talking a different language, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
That's okay.
That's why I brought up Scott's name real quick.
You can talk to me
okay.
about boxing or soccer.
Great
basketball.
fight on Saturday night.
Yep.
Were you going for Canelo or Berlanga?
Who are these
Canelo.
people and what do they do?
They're
Is this UFC?
Canelo is the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. He's got,
Boxing?
Boxing.
Okay.
And this kid Berlanga is a young kid, but he's undefeated, and he started his career with 16 straight knockouts, and he's got a lot of press. And he's a lot bigger. Like
He is a lot bigger than
6'1",
Canelo. He put on
160.
a really good fight, though.
He did, and I didn't
Why?
realize
What was good about it?
He
I didn't-
got to
obviously-
handle Canelo really well,
Because why? Because of his speed? Did he cut him off
Because
the
of the
ring?
experience.
No, he's a
It's-
tough kid.
Yeah.
The Berlanga. I was not a Berlanga fan, okay? But about halfway through that fight, I started rooting for him because I felt like Canelo was being a bully. Like he was punching this kid in the leg.
I just
and
feel
all,
the whole
you know.
fight was very personal.
It seemed
It was very personal.
seemed
If you're
like
because-
going to
they
beat the
didn't
piss
like
out of
each
somebody, I think he gets to
yeah,
be a
no,
little
especially when Canelo was hitting this kid. He's only 27. He was like, just like, in Spanish, like, dale cabrón, dale cabrón. It's like,
What's that mean? Say it.
no.
Write it down for me. I want to know. I won't say it. What's that mean?
So cabrón is a completely different meaning from Mexicans and Puerto Ricans.
I see. Okay.
But,
I didn't hear what you said. Come on. Yeah. Okay.
So it's just like he was pushing the button, like, hit me harder, hit me harder, hit me harder. And, Canelo's goal was to knock him down.
So it's like a
And he
Rocky.
couldn't.
It's like
He
a
couldn't knock him
Spanish
out.
Rocky movie. Is
It
what
was,
this was.
yeah, and Canelo is Apollo Creed. He's just a monster, and he's
Yeah.
only 5'7", but he's a terror. But
They
I just
both-
didn't like the way Canelo was conducting himself, like in the ring. I thought it was a little dishonorable.
You have to think of Canelo is 34 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
He was feeling the pressure of not being, knocked out by a 27-year unexperienced
Yep.
kid, with not like
Yep.
a third of his fights. So the pressure they both have.
And I totally agree with you. And I just felt like Canelo is so good, and he doesn't need to do anything. He doesn't need to do anything, a little cheap
I
to
don't
win.
agree with him.
Well, let
I
me
disagree with
give you an answer. For an instance, at one point the guy's locked up, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the referee's over here and he can't see, so Canelo starts punching the guy in his
leg.
thigh
Yeah.
to like hurt his leg,
You don't do that.
All right.
Yeah, no, I get it.
He
I get
doesn't
it.
need to do that stuff. He doesn't
Yep.
need
No,
to.
I agree.
I admire Canelo so much. You know, he's accomplished so much. He's just my kind of guy when he fights. But I just didn't like that part. Anyway, I digress.
You know, boxing fights are a big thing for us. Like we do a lot of cooking in the house, and we plan for the whole night. Usually, a lot of people just go out, but sometimes, this time I decided to stay home and do some food.
Do they simulcast those things? They show them again after?
YouTube usually has them, depending on who's running the fight or what platform the fight is on. Sometimes you can find it on YouTube. They'll have somebody put up either the highlights at least.
You know what might be excellent is to show that fight on air and have you and Yesmin commentate the fight. While you've already seen it, right? So you know kind of what's coming up.
Yeah.
That might be really entertaining. I see that a lot on YouTube.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. And also the other thing, Mexico and I didn't know this. Mexico and Puerto Rico are very competitive against each other.
Oh yeah,
and I was not aware of that.
Yeah, no, it's like the
I
whole.
did not be aware of that.
It's like a blood feud.
Yeah.
Well, Puerto Rico and the Dominican,
Julio Cesar Chavez was at this fight, and he was telling his story about how the rivalry between Puerto Rico and Mexicans has always been, this big. It's big pride.
Yeah.
It's a big pride. So it's a big thing.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they were that.
Are you saying pride or prize?
Pride.
Okay, so I thought you said prize. So I was going to ask you, how much are these guys making? Is this big money for these guys?
Yeah, it was big money. I don't know. Canelo makes.
Canelo made a ton of millions.
Yeah. He's
a ton of millions.
At least. I would think at least 20, 25 million a fight.
I read something about 34.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
okay.
All right. Cool. I learned a lot, guys. You know what? I'm going to sit on that side of the camera because I'm learning so much from these YouTube conversations. I love it. So,
we have something in common that we didn't know.
See
about
that?
what?
Boxing.
Oh,
boxing.
yeah, boxing. Yep.
Okay.
I was just praying.
I
was praying that night. I was like, please, this fight cannot be the same fight when Oscar de la Hoya lost against Tito Trinidad.
Yep.
I was like, please don't be this type of fight. And thank God it wasn't.
It was a good fight. Excellent fight. Great to watch.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you know what's funny? Prior fights before that one, it was this fight that I loved. I don't know if you watched.
Caleb Plant and the other guy.
And what is it?
I can't remember how
something
to pronounce his name.
Macombi.
He looked like a truck driver.
Yes. Oh my God, that was a fight. I was like,
that might be the fight of the year.
Yes, it was. It was
crazy.
like these guys are.
Yep.
They're animals to fight. Yeah.
Yeah, a good night. A good night at the fights, definitely.
You need to start watching boxing fights.
I feel lost because I don't want. So UFC, my oldest boy is a huge UFC fan, and he lives and breathes it. So he asked me all these stupid dad questions, I guess. The things a normal person would know, but I don't know them, and I feel inadequate that I don't know them. So I almost get less interested.
So that's how I feel when you speak about football.
Yeah, well, I guess it makes sense, but.
Touché.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't. And then unfortunately too, like some of these fights are on so late at night, I can't stay.
Yeah, the Canelo fight went off at, I bet it was 11 o'clock.
11, yeah. It wasn't that late.
I've seen it later.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen
it later in
when
Vegas.
he watches UFC McGregor's and stuff. They're on like 12:31 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, which he sent me a really cool. I'm going to put it up. He's going to get mad. He's not going to talk to me anymore after I do this. But apparently McGregor was in Boston, and he has a picture with about 8 Boston PD and McGregor, and they're all like hugging and smooching and stuff. And
was he in it?
Yeah, yeah.
I want that picture.
Yeah,
I need that picture.
I got it on my phone. I'll send it to you.
That's great.
And,
Sonny, I'm proud of you. I love that. That's awesome.
And that's not his style. He's a huge, like, if he sees a celebrity, he's like that. And he can't leave him alone.
But there's certain people.
Oh yeah, no, that guy was
certain people.
He was.
Is there anybody that you like would get awestruck, starstruck if you met them? Anybody that
Just
like
about anybody. That's why she does her job. She loves all of them.
For me, it's Larry Bird for the Celtics. I mean, we used to work security for the Garden and other places up in Boston. And when I was doing one of the Celtics games, we had the old Boston Garden. Long story short, old Boston Garden. The players used to drive their cars actually into the building, and there's a parking garage built into the building. So you had to meet them down at their cars and escort them up to the locker room. And I had to ride in the elevator with Bird, and I was speechless. I couldn't even. I managed something like, hey, have a good game, Larry.
Yeah,
you know, and
I mean, but let's put that in perspective.
Geek, dork. You know,
back in the '80s, there was none of these YouTubes. And
I totally agree with you.
Courtside seats, like you couldn't get. These guys were bigger than life, right?
Yep.
So if you did get to see them like that or something, you were definitely put.
And I was saying, and other people said, I was saying, you don't understand how massive Larry Bird is. Like you see him out there and with everybody, but this guy is a giant human being. His coat was bigger than me. If you put it on me, I would go from my shoulders down and be bunched up on the ground. He's a massive human being. Anyway, that's the guy. That's the guy for me that the only time I've ever been really starstruck by somebody.
Yeah, I think the only time that, and it wasn't, I mean, a big enough star, but it was just a content. It was a Sunday at, I want to say 1:00. And me and Sonny was at the Cigar Masters in Providence, Rhode Island. And we're walking in the place, small little rooms. And we walk in and Sonny goes, Dad, it's Brewski. It's Brewski right there. Because they had played a Thursday night game and they had the weekend off. And Brewski used to live in Foxborough or Attleboro or something. He was close by. So they used to love cigars. So they would go down there. It was him, and it was the third string quarterback that year.
Zolak?
No, it's out of an A, I thought. But literally there was those two guys, me and Sonny, and we sat in this like mirror option like this, like we could see him in the other room without like gawking at him, and it was kind of cool. And I had to go up to him, and Sonny's losing his mind. Sonny's bad dad, right? He's like 19, and I got him at a cigar bar one in the afternoon.
I didn't even say that. I didn't bring it up.
No, bad dad, absolute bad dad. But I enjoyed being a bad dad. And I go up to him, and he's like, Dad, and I'm like, Mr. Brewski, I just got to tell you, season ticket holder, and the only reason why we go is to watch you play. And he's like, hey, thanks very much. Hey, meet the quarterback. And I'm like, yeah, you're not the quarterback. But I was like, yeah, how you doing? And then we stayed there, and then we didn't drink with them or nothing. But it was an hour later, they kind of they were watching the Pittsburgh game at 1:00 in the afternoon. It was kind of cool. But but that was just cool because they were next room over and real nice guy. And
see, I like that nice little interaction. Human beings, saying no big time.
Yep.
It wasn't like me, but I couldn't even speak.
Yeah, yeah. And then so that that was cool. Yep. But Sonny is a big. I think because he knew he was going to be some kind of public servant way back then. He didn't want to be this guy that kind of gawked on celebrities and stuff. Or
be a jock sniffer.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. Anyways, Millers Crossing, wonderful event. Like I said, we got down there in the morning. Me and my wife Sue, we were down there probably about 11:00. Met every team, and took some really nice pictures. We're going to have. We already did a lot of content on YouTube about them, so I don't know if we'll have another episode about them, but I will get up on this podcast when I air it some nice pictures of all the competitors and the crowd over there and how that thing worked out. And they had a fantastic bar. Millers Crossing is a fantastic sports bar down there. I spent a lot of it's a little hot.
What, downstairs?
No, downstairs was
I'm sorry. Outside, it did get warm. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was like a little muggy, a little warm. So I was like, I want to go down. And there was like...
nice cool basement.
Yeah, and nice cool beer. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm staying here a while. Yeah. And then they had their grand buffet. So 2:00, 2:30, the crowd was let in and they did all their auction stuff. They did their raffles.
Yep.
A lot of raffles. And it was cool the way they did them. A lot of winners. And then they had the grand buffet at 5:30, and then they did the awards right after. And I got a list of the awards. We can run down them. I know chicken.
Who won the chicken? Was it
Barnyard Rebel Barbecue?
That's right.
Won the chicken.
But our man Rich Yang did well.
Yes,
this weekend.
Yes, the Barbecue Ninja who just came off
Barbecue Ninja.
We've
adopted him.
We coined him now, I think. But so his wife Stephanie was telling us the story apparently, and I love it. So if you can tell from the name, Richard's he's Laotian American in Hmong. I'm sorry, he's Hmong, and his wife's I don't know what nationality she is originally, but I'm going to say she's white because she's white. But so Rich is kind of he looks a little under the weather. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? You all right? You okay? No. He goes, actually, I'm just recovering. I went to the hospital. I went, what you go to the hospital for? What's going on, right? And he was red in the face. So I thought he was going to say like an allergic reaction or something. But he said, no, I had this weird feeling in my heart and my arm. He goes, I got nervous. I wanted to go get checked out. So I did. He goes, but I'm fine. So I'm sticking it out. I said, okay, are you allergic to anything? He goes, no, why do you ask? I said, well, because you're red. So Stephanie jumps right in and goes, no.
That's his natural color?
That's the Asian glow. He's been drinking. I'm like,
that's
okay.
the one, the Asian glow.
That's what she says. So
Okay.
I looked right at my wife and I started laughing. I go, see, it's not just me. There are other people out there like me.
She needs to learn how to say that's the Italian glow when he's drunk, right?
Exactly. Well, you can't see my glow because I'm usually
But
face
you don't get
down on
red.
the
You
ground.
get purple.
No, I get flat into the pavement, so I'm hard to see my
This is
color.
also true.
Yeah. So, anyways,
So let me ask you
came
a quick question, right? While we're running down the winners and everything.
Yes.
Where, after I got done judging, I went around looking for Rich. Where was he set up? Because I didn't see him. I never
He
saw him
was
there.
third. He was literally third, and if you went all the way to the right, he was the third booth in. So, like, if you come off that ramp, because I didn't go upstairs, but there was a hall or something upstairs.
Yeah, that's where the judging took place. Like
Yes.
a banquet hall.
Yeah, I never made it up there, and but if you came out that ramp, he was like the first booth.
What kind of judging were you doing over there?
I was judging the barbecue, the food from the cooks. I don't want to. If you want me to tell you, let's go through the winners and I'll tell you how it works.
Okay, good.
He's saving that for last.
Yeah, I'll tell you how
So
it works.
the next category was pork, and number one was Scallywags barbecue.
Scallywag.
What does that mean? That's a ship term.
You're a scallywag, like a old so and so, or how do you do?
don't think
A man
that's
of
right.
ill repute.
But
Somebody's a little bit of
something to
a
do with-
rascal, or
Something to do with maritime people, though, or something?
yeah, you hear pirates and stuff say like
Scallywag.
that. He's an old scallywag.
Okay, well, Scallywag, it doesn't say barbecue, but I'm sure it's Scallywag's barbecue. They pulled top straw there. They came in first place. And then, our boy Rich Yang and team, I'm going to give it to Stephanie because of the Asian glow, came in number 2 in pork as well.
Well done.
So, good. Absolutely great. I have the winner of the Pork Classic. I don't know what any of that even means. Smokin' Joe's took number 1 in the Pork Classic. Did they have 2 pork categories?
When I judged, the pork all came out together. It was just like, and it could be any kind of. It could be pulled pork, sliced pork, whatever it was.
So maybe the money. Sometimes the classic is the money muscle. Maybe they were doing just the money muscle.
I don't know, but they just delineated between it was chicken, pulled pork. What else did they do? They didn't do brisket. They did
chicken,
pulled
pork, and ribs.
Ribs. Yeah, chicken.
I
pulled
don't
pork,
have the rib
ribs.
winner. I don't know why I don't have the rib winner here. I'm gonna
I think Rich got 2 in ribs too. I think. Oh no, you don't want ribs? Rolling Coals.
Oh no, here it is. I'm sorry, I just found it. Yeah, they did win it. Pork ribs, number 2, Barnyard Rebel, and number 1 was Rolling Coals.
Rolling Coals. I think I don't want to be crazy. But I think Rich got 3 in ribs too, but I'm not sure. Not 100% sure. But he did well. He scored in a couple of the categories.
And then the ancillary category, which I believe was
Anything you wanted to make, you did.
as long as it was rolled like a
It was one of those
like a
rolled in
sushi.
some.
Had to be like a sushi roll.
Had to
but
be
it could
round.
Yeah, it had to be a sushi roll looking thing, but it could be any meat, any vegetable, anything. It could be.
And there was, some people had some good ideas. Some people had some not so good ideas.
Second place was Liberty Barbecue, which is also Liberty Lumber. Great bunch of guys there. They were having a party. They were stoked. I can't wait to meet the guy there. I met. Pretty sure it was Sean. I don't have my book in front of me, but I met one of the main guys that does the videos, and they're killing it on YouTube. And I need all the advice I can get, so I'm going to be looking those guys up later and see what we can figure out together. But they took second, and then Smoked to Death took first place. What? I can't talk. Jasmine's got me nervous.
Somebody hit the wine a little early today. Kidding, funny.
Wait, we can. We don't have Paul's wine. We're going to do wine in a little bit too.
Oh, I can't.
Right
wait.
after this, before we do judging, I'm going to do it. We're going to open a bottle of wine. I brought back
We're
Caymus.
waiting for the judge story.
Yeah, no, we're going to do it before that because I have to drink because I'm an alcoholic. And it's Caymus, and I love Caymus. So, so that was all the awards. So congratulations, competitors. You know, you guys are my favorite people in the world. You just kill it. And if you don't...
one more thing. Shout out to Rico, who I met.
Yes.
One of the barbecue teams, and we're gonna hook up with this guy because I think this guy's gonna be a great interview. And I meant to tell you that day.
Yeah.
But Rico is a hot ticket, and he's a young guy, and he's doing really good things in the barbecue world. And we're gonna hook up with him and get him on this show.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna take a deep pause and get the bottle of wine, and then I'm gonna tell you a quick story about him and kind of a sideline of what was going on at the event that day. If I can do it without embarrass myself without having all the details, but he is a pistol, so I want to talk about that. But all right, so here we go, folks. We got Caymus, my favorite. We had this already once this season. And believe it or not, 9 weeks. I'm already repeating wine, but that's because I love Caymus. Caymus is out of Napa Valley, California. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon. This happens to be 2022, and I'm drinking it early because it's all I can afford because these things get a little pricey if you don't buy them right. But thanks to our buddy Paul over at Paul Fine Wines on Menden Road. He keeps us well stocked at reasonable prices. He keeps me in my element. So cheers, folks. Here's to I didn't do my.
Yes.
So, it's smooth, right? Isn't it nice and smooth? It just there's zero tannins in it. There's zero bite to this. You don't have to decanter it. You can go right from bottle to glass to mouth to bed. It's done easy. Wow. That simple. But
it's the between the bottle and bed that we always get into trouble. That always seems that gray area between opening the bottle and going to bed seems to.
I'm not gonna say that they say no caption needed.
Yes. Very good.
All right. Anyways, hey, I wanted to bump back. You mentioned Rico. I'm getting to know Rico really well. I first ran into him at Cora Cares. He won a lot of things up there at Cora. He did a good job, and he's a great cook. Real shy kid. He kind of walks around. He travels with a big family, mom, wife. I think it's a wife. I'm going to say wife. So what? But anyways, Rico Pasquale, great guy, fun guy to talk to. A lot of spunk. And he was basically there. So that was the main, I don't want to say sideline because it wasn't. It was one of the main focuses that went on in this fundraiser this time. There was a crew that was cooking, and it's called Gutta Grill. And Gutta Grill was Ashley, the daughter Ashley, was cooking in honor of her past father, Bill. Bill had passed away February of 24, just this year. And Bill was a restaurant owner, I believe. He cooked barbecue. He loved this Friends of Jake event. He used to come out. He was just everybody I talked to, just bubbly, nice, fast forward guy. And, obviously Ashley was very emotional this day. She did not want to do the competition. There was someone who was a cousin of hers that was kind of, I think it was Bill's brother, her uncle, that was pushing her to do it, kind of.
In his honor.
It was just a nice way to console, kind of grieve,
Grieving.
So, and then with that, before they knew, because she was kind of on the fence with doing it or not because of her emotions, Rico and a guy that was cooking with Rico, I met him, but I don't remember his name, basically put up a team. They called it Team Dad in honor of Bill as well. But as soon as they knew Ashley was going to be there and do her thing, they kind of just very so cool. They just kind of pulled to the side, hung back, enjoyed the day, did their cook, but they didn't have to be the mainliner. They let Ashley do what they had to do. So it was a really, really nice tribute to Ashley's dad, Bill. Learned a lot, and that's the amazing part about these things. I'm sorry, and not to get too over emotional with it, but it's just these are the sideline stories that these fundraiser competitions kind of bring out, and it all comes from the competitors, where the competitors really go down there and enjoy doing these things. After everything else they do, I mean, they put the same efforts, same commitment into all of these events. And they're doing it without national point scoring. They're doing it without big money prizes. They're just doing it because that's who they are and they enjoy doing it. So, yeah, great day. Ashley did a great job. Wish I had met your, apparently I wish I met your dad. Sounds like I missed a great guy in the barbecue world. But there you go. I just wanted to share that story. So, yeah, I agree with you. Rico is a fantastic personality. I'd love to get him on here as a co-host. And when I met him, so I met him also at MCRCO, and I did mention to him about the podcast, and he's like, I'm in, dude. Let me know. Just let me know when I'm in. So we'll have to get him out here and get some content going for you. All right. Judging. Enough. Get everybody on the edge of their seat. What did you think? What did you like? What didn't you like? I mean, I'm sure they gave you the short end of the stick with everything because you were a greenhorn. Did you have to sit on the floor? Did they give you a table?
I was all by myself, all in the back. And had the worst of everything.
Gave you the dunce cap right on the way in.
Everything's totally random. So in June, I took a judging class for Northeast Barbecue Society, so I could judge barbecue at any of their events, any of their sanctioned events. And this was the first one I picked because it was local and it fit our schedule because we were going to be there anyway for this event. And got there, they have a judges meeting like about an hour and a half before they start bringing the food in from the competitors. So you go in there and they go over.
I was going to ask you, what are the, not the categories, but the rules for you to how to qualify,
so
how
they
to
can
rate.
Yeah, they can really be different from event to event. So the guys in charge of the judging, you all sit down. There was 18 of us, three long tables. You sit down and they go over the rules there. What can't be included in whatever food you turn in. It's usually what they call garnish or no garnish, meaning if there's a garnish like lettuce or parsley or
cilantro,
kale or whatever, they tell you how it has to be pre-presented. So if somebody turns in their box of food and it's tinfoil and not the kale that they, or whatever you wanted to say, whatever the vegetable they use for garnish, if they turn in tinfoil and no garnish, they're disqualified. So we actually did have that happen on one of the plates. The person, and they were a rookie team, and I'm not going to say. I honestly don't know what team it was because I was totally in the blind about everything. But they were a rookie team.
The way you like it.
Yes, I want to go in not knowing anything. Just take it right in the face.
It's coming out the same way.
Same way, clean. So you have a meeting about 45 minutes long. They go over the rules. They go over the categories that you're going to be judging. And we did pork, chicken, ribs, and ancillary. And ancillary means like something that is not traditional. Usually, like they'll say, "Okay, do whatever you want." That could be the ancillary category, right. Or they'll say, "Do it's got to be seafood," or it's got
tacos.
To be, yeah,
it's got to be a taco, but it could be any taco,
or any kind of
fish.
So they kind of let the people get creative with what they're going to do.
Right.
So basically, how the judging works is you sit down at your table. They give you a nice little setup with water. They give you a placemat-sized sheet, okay, and it's got squares, like 6 squares or however many categories there are. 6 squares written on the thing, and with the place for the box number, and like every team gets a number. So you come in and you've got your Jasmine's barbecue team. At the beginning of the thing, they'll say, okay, you're number 322. Now everything you cook is going to have 322 on it, and it's going to get judged. And I'm going to mark down, okay, 322. The ribs were great. I'm going to score it between 5 and 10 or 5 and 9. I think it was 5 and 9.
So basically, judges get to eat for free?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
which
nice.
is great.
That's what you love about it, right?
Exactly. I mean, what a score. And if the food is great, it's great. But, if you get some food that's not so great, you're not eating too much of it. But it was a good experience. It was easy. They were so helpful, and there's no pressure. You go in there and you just say right out, yeah, it's the first time I was here. They're so helpful and the guy I was with, who my table captain was?
No.
Bob.
Oh, Bob.
Bob Bowman.
Bob Bowman?
Yeah, Bob Bowman.
It's kind of funny because I showed up and I knew you
Yeah.
were in the bar when you were done.
Yeah.
When I came back in after the event started, and I made mention to our friend Johnny who was there. I said, "Oh yeah, Chip's in the bar." All I heard is somebody go, "Yeah, he is." I looked, and it was Bob, and I'm like, Bob knows something that I want to know, but I didn't want to get into a talk with him, so I just went down and found you, and you were getting, I think, picked up by some Irish dude.
Connor.
What?
Connor just showed up. Connor, how are you, brother? He knows all about the podcast. He came down. We split a few rounds, and I actually gave him my 50-50 tickets because I was out of there. I was leaving. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, Connor, you whacked it on the 50-50.
Nice.
He's actually local from Warwick, and we had a nice little conversation. He was a little far into the game for me. I wasn't quite that far into the game. That means he'd have a lot more to drink than I did. No, okay.
I got that part.
Okay. So
good overall.
Yeah, no, it was a great experience. I mean, I took
You would
notes.
do it again?
Yeah, of course. And I already looked up a bunch of contests that they're looking for judges. And I think I'm gonna start doing a few of these every year.
Yeah,
because it was a lot of fun.
So it's I don't want to say it's just like Chip said, it's not stressful. It's a fun day. But it always seems like they're looking for judges. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the competitions, you don't have to be prior, cleared to judge. You could literally go there. If it's a 1:00 event, they might have a 10 o'clock judging class, do a class with you for an hour, and then you become certified in that, whatever participating, and you judge for that day because they need judges because you're supposed to have, I think, tables of 5, right? And
they were. I think they were short judges at one point, right, going up to the event. But then we ended up with 18, and so that was a really good number,
right?
And nobody was overwhelmed. They could have used a couple more people, just maybe taking the trash away and stuff like that. But everything,
it's a lot of
really good.
How do the winner gets decided by So you said you vote.
So
by
okay,
the
I got
number.
they give me the piece of paper. Okay,
That is it gets discussed among the team. Or?
Nobody talks about anything.
Nope.
You don't talk to anybody.
So it's just the number,
box,
they put them together. And
a box comes in numbered, totally blind, so you don't know who it is. They bring that box to the table. In that box will be one bite for each of the person voting at that table.
Okay.
So then you have different ways to look, right? What the appearance, first impression, taste, whatever the categories are that you have to judge on. You go and you come up and you formulate a number. Like Chip was saying, it could be a number from 5 to 9, whatever. And then you write your number on your slip, and then the box gets done, the box goes away, and your slips go in with that box number on it, and it goes to a woman who's just punching them into a computer.
So nobody is agreeing to disagreeing. It's just numbers and that's it. Okay.
That's it.
No. And it gets easier and easier. Some competitions now don't even have a pad that you have to put a number down. They basically you walk in, they give you a phone, because it can't be your phone, and it has an app already installed on it. And you get a QR code. So the box comes to you, you scan the QR code, and then you basically say excellent, good, okay, poor, And then based on those 4 categories.
So much easier.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It draws back a number and it goes and it gets calculated, and then there you go.
Not that this way, not that, the old fashioned way is difficult. It's not, but a guy like me who's a bit of a knucklehead to begin with, and it's my first, my first judging. I was forgetting to write the number on, you have 2 people. You have to write it on the sheet where the food is, and then you have a score sheet, like Vin just said, and you have to write the number on here. And so, I was turning in score sheets with, I was missing one of the numbers, and luckily Bob caught everything on me.
Right.
That wasn't crazy, but a couple of times I
Table
screwed
captain's
it up.
supposed to check the slip.
Yeah, and he was on point, and he made it really easy.
So humans are bad, machines are good. And that's why they use the QR codes, because the machine reads it, the machine enters it. Because you got to think, there's 2 human involvements, right? There's that person scoring, if they did a good or bad job in the process. There's that table captain checking, and then it goes to another person who has to sit there and tally things, right? So they could screw up, and depending on the competition. I'm not saying this wasn't a real competition, because it was. but some of them are so fierce with the amount of people and the type of people there. Things are decided by like the second decimal point, right?
And I don't know how you do that. That's got to be with the phone, because you can only score whole numbers. And like the one I did, like you can't score like 8.5 or 8 3/4 or 8.2. So I had a lot of guys with, I gave them the same score. Like say I gave everybody a 7, but they really weren't. One was a little better, but they were still 7s. You know what I'm saying? So like I would want to say this guy was like a 7.1, but this guy, he was almost an 8. He was a 7.8. But you can't do that. You have to give them both a 7, or or bump the other guy up to an 8. I don't know.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's not rocket science.
Rating someone?
What's that?
Do you feel guilty when you feel like you're underrating someone?
That's such a great question, because you're so right. Like the first things we did were the chicken. So the first round of boxes came out from the first competitor, and it was chicken thighs. Okay, I hate chicken thighs. Okay, I hate them. I don't like them.
Why?
And that was personal. That was
like I don't like them, so I had to like.
You're not a dark meat kind of guy.
Yeah, I just don't like. I just don't like them.
So what did,
Funny, I thought you were a dark meat.
So what I had to focus on was okay, was it cooked?
Too much
cooked
wine?
well? Yeah.
Too much wine.
Oh my God.
No.
Mom.
Tea for you next time. No wine, tea.
Mom, you know how he is. I don't have to explain it. My poor mother, when she watches these shows, all she does is laugh nonstop. You and Vinny play so well together.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, Ma.
That's the cutest thing. Your mom says, when he aggravates his mom turns to him and goes, why don't you go call that Vinny guy and go play with Vinny?
Go play with Vinny
Go
for a
play
while.
with
She
Vinny.
throws
Just
me
get out of here like we're like 16 again all over again.
Yep. It's never changed.
Nope.
But yeah, so you're judging something, and this is how good a job they did setting us up at the beginning when they had the judge meeting. They came around and said, listen, there's going to be stuff that you may not like, but you still got to judge it, So I judged it. I judged the chicken thighs on whether they would, tenderness and, whether they cooked right, what the flavor.
Chicken thighs can never be dry.
What's that?
Chicken thighs can never be dry.
I don't know. Yeah, no, exactly. So I want to make sure it's cooked correctly. Number 2, how's the flavor? Now I'm going to hate the flavor anyway because I hate chicken thighs. But is it flavorful or is it bland? That's how I looked at it. And then what did it look like when they opened the box? Because here's what they do: they bring the box along and they bring it in front. You're seat number 2. You're me. And they open the box and you look at it and you say and you judge it on being how does it look?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, some of these boxes they open it up and I was like. It doesn't look good. So I don't like. Would I look at that and say, yeah, I got to eat that?
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. So it gets a lower score. But some of the boxes they open up, they're like, oh, that looks great.
Yeah,
so they get a higher score. It can be as simple as that.
So I use the bad excuse all the time that I'll never judge because I do this job and I can't be honest and upfront and friendly with. Move that bottle so you don't spill it. Friendly with the competitors after and before the offense. So I don't judge. But the real reason is I can't. I don't think I have the palate to judge something to memory of taste and bite. Right? I would have to do a comparison. Like, oh, this one's better. Right? Like that's how I am. And you can't do that. Right? You got to go in, get one bite or one piece. I did the steak judges class, so you have to actually cut the steak with a plastic fork and knife, and you take one bite of a steak. And that's tough because same thing, you got 5 people doing it. So when that box goes, you got to open it, look at it, judge it on appearance, write down a score, open up again, cut it, close the box, pass it to the next person, and then eat it, and then judge on your taste. And that process, when that steak comes to you, if you're like seat 4 or 5, that steak looks totally different than it did when they first opened the box. But it's easy.
The same thing.
You tell Chip, hey, look, the barbecue is going to put a little V dent in their styrofoam. So when you see the V dent, pump up the score.
Yeah, and that's why they switch it up so much. So you have no idea who you're judging, and that's why I didn't talk to any of the judges. Didn't go and look at their food at all because I didn't want to say, oh, I remember that guy's ribs look great.
Right.
So they try to keep you as in the dark as possible. So you're giving them but. It's human nature, right? If you're judging ribs or something and the one you just ate was fantastic. How are you not going to compare the next one and say, it's not that good compared to this guy, so I have to give it a little bit lower score or something? I mean, that stuff creeps in, and you just have to try to do your best. That's all they ask you. They don't put a lower, but hey, do your best. Try to give an honest opinion, and that's all they're asking for.
Absolutely.
When you do the test, do they ask you what you don't like?
No, they don't. There's
can they
no. It's not like
disqualify you from being a judge.
no. It's
because
not. It's not jury. It's not jury duty.
It's not that. Listen, it's.
I feel bad now for the people that
serious.
was cooking the chicken.
No poor little chicken guy's going
I
to
don't even want
jail.
to ask him how much he gave to the people that did the chicken.
Next up,
They probably
I only
barbecue
had
ribs, O.J. Simpson.
I only had of all the chicken. I only had, I think, one that was below a 7. All right, and I don't like I said, I can't stand chicken thighs, but some people did it really well. They didn't put too much sauce on it because as soon as you put too much sauce on it, I'm going, all right, what are you hiding? Mm-hmm. Like some of them were just like loaded with sauce, and you just like kept trying to get it out of the. It's awful. And I just looked at how it looked when they opened the box. A couple of them looked really good out of the box. Just the way they had the skin was nice and crispy, and it was had a nice glaze on it. Not too much sauce, but more like a glaze. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there going like, yeah, if I was annoyed, I'd like to eat that. It looks good. So I wasn't that prejudiced just because I don't like chicken thighs, and that goes back to my childhood. Okay, I don't like chicken that still has like chicken muscles and tendons and stuff on it. Like white meat. Wings are an exception. Wings, I'll eat 100 of them, but legs, can't do it. So
just go back to my research over the weekend on the keto diet. I wanted to share with you guys what I found out, and it's the magic of the diet of being able to consume all this meat. Especially what I got involved into was in the YouTube channel. I was watching the recipe for the brisket tacos, and that caught my attention. And like I said, I'm not really doing a very good job keeping on a diet, but it's like amazing how you can, not punishing yourself of what you eat, just watching a little bit of what's being added to the food. So it was just amazing how I found out a few celebrities who actually eat on a keto diet, and it's just based on fatty meat, and it's awesome for you, and it's also healthy. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, so you don't feel guilty when you're doing all this barbecue.
So what we've done that keto stuff before, but I can't really remember. What's that all about?
Yeah, so I mean the way I remember ketos was introduced to me and started, it was basically overeating protein and eliminating carbohydrates, which are simple sugars, and therefore all sugars and salt. What people would do in that process is like really bizarre stuff. I'm not going to say nasty, but it was almost nasty. Like someone would eat like 7 hamburger patties loaded with mayonnaise, because there's nothing wrong with that.
But no patties. They were using tomatoes instead of like patty. Meat, but not the bun, I should say.
Exactly. Right. Not the bun. Not the bun. Exactly. And even, when you talk to the real serious people, that it's called
ketosis.
When
you want to get your body to get into ketosis.
You want to get into ketosis. So even vegetables can be a carbohydrate. Like tomatoes is a no-no. Like you could use lettuce and stuff, but tomatoes are sweet. They're very sugary. So anything that has sugar in it, you want to completely eliminate. So it's just.
I remember.
So when you talk about brisket, pork belly, pork, shoulders, ribs, anything, right? That's just natural meat without heavy salts or heavy sugar. And that's just because the salt's going to make you eat more and retain fluid. You don't want to do that. And then the sugar is the carbohydrates that make you hungry again and keep on the weight. So you want to eliminate that. If you're eliminating those two pieces and eating as much protein as possible, your body goes into ketosis and you just burn off the fat. It's like magic.
One of my favorites that I found was the chicharron, the pork belly, combined with the guacamole. It's just like, I love chicharron.
Yeah. And I love guacamole.
And it's just the perfect combination.
Yep.
They were also giving you ideas of how to make like chips out of bacon, obviously very crispy bacon, and eat it with the guacamole.
Yeah,
I'm
that
like,
sounds
oh my
good.
God, this is like kind of the perfect combination without
Very
feeling
nice.
guilty.
I haven't thought about it.
But yeah, it's like I have to think of something, where I can enjoy the barbecue and not feeling guilty about it. But yes, like he said, eliminating the sugar from it is like kind of like
Yeah.
the base
great
on it.
idea, yeah.
It's just a few years ago, 15 years ago, I will say, the low carb diet was like the top thing. Now
Yes.
it's the keto diet, right? It's kind of the same.
it was
They just name it different.
Yeah, wasn't there some fancy California name with that?
The Atkins diet.
Atkins, yeah, thank you. There was an Atkins diet, and then it went keto.
Wait a minute. What was the celebrities you ran into that were on this
Oh,
stuff
that they
now?
are on the diet. It's LeBron James.
LeBron
He's one
James.
of them.
Wow.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
What was the name of this that we were just talking about for the movie?
Oh, the ones
Halle
Holly Berry.
Halle Berry, yeah.
She was a little heavy in that movie.
I didn't say she's heavy. I said
No, I
she's
did.
on that diet.
No, but I said she was a little heavy. Probably that's why she's on the diet. They kept having her. I noticed she was in special clothes, like to make her look thinner. I think she's super attractive.
I want to know what the clothes are sold.
I think she's a little smug.
Did you see her? Did you see her in Monster Ball?
Yeah, and there's no
won't-
way
you won't-
Billy Bob Thornton scored that.
You won't.
Sorry, it's unbelievable. It's not believable.
You won't sleep through the night again if you watch that movie.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, I haven't watched
Go watch that movie.
some of it.
The Union?
No, Monster Ball. This is an older movie.
I wasn't born back then. I don't know what movie you're talking about.
Okay.
I think I smell a rat.
All right, folks, it's time for our favorite part of the day, at least my favorite part of the team. And thank goodness Fredo is back because we had a couple bad weeks without Fredo. And
Didn't at the production meeting we say we're getting rid of this character?
no,
I know he's family. But he's weak.
he's the connection. He's the connection. But anyways, he had to get his shy up, I told you. And it took him,
One more chance, Fredo.
Bidenomics. Anyways, he did
He's
hook us
not
up.
even getting paid, so leave him alone.
Well, you're not going to like him this week either because I'm looking at the letter he sent, and he says, I know Yesmin Morales is going to be on the show this week, so I picked this email specifically for her to read, so please give this to her. And I would have to because I can't make heads or tails out of it. So, Yasmin, would you do the honors and could you read this for us?
Of course.
And
Thank you, Fredo. Appreciate it.
why is he looking out for you and Chip hates you?
Because I don't pick on him.
There you go. There's the secret sauce right there.
All right, so this is, I'm going to read it completely in Spanish. I'm sorry for you guys don't understand it. So it says, Asunto, mi viaje en el barbacoa. Hola, Wise Guys. Quería compartir mi viaje en el mundo de barbecue. Todo comenzó con un simple cerdo desmenuzado y después de algunos intentos me enganché. Luego amplié a costillas, salchichas y finalmente a brisket. El punto culminante fue dominar las costillas de res. Fue un cambio total para mi vida. Ahora cada fin de semana cocino algo nuevo y mi patio se ha convertido en el lugar de reunión para amigos y familiares. Incluso estoy pensando en entrar en una competencia local muy pronto. Muchas gracias por dejarme compartir con ustedes. Saludos. Miguel.
That was amazing.
If that doesn't curl your toes,
That was amazing.
Did you like it?
Yes, you're
Can
fantastic.
you translate something for me, whatever I said?
Barbecue and
Miguel.
Miguel. So what did that say, and why did Fredo want us to read that today?
So he said, I wanted to share a little bit about my barbecue journey. It all started with a simple pork shoulder. One summer afternoon, I decided to give smoking a try. Armed with a new used smoker and a few YouTube tutorials, the first cook wasn't perfect, but that taste of smoky pork was enough to get me hooked. I spent every weekend after that getting better, and before I knew it, my friends and family were calling me the pulled pork guy.
Oh,
I bet they were, fella.
yeah, that's awesome. This guy is a made guy for sure.
This is a made guy.
Yeah.
Folks out there, when we're talking about made or whacked, this is an example of a made guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike.
Started
Miguel.
Miguel.
started
Changing it.
small,
Don't change his name,
cooks
I'm
for friends
sorry.
and family. Excellent example of a made guy.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to skip a little part over there, a small section of it, but to finalize his letter, he said, now every weekend I try something new, whether it's a brisket, ribs, sausage, or those amazing beef ribs. I love sharing the food with my family and friends, creating new experiences each time. I fire up smoker. Who knows? I might even enter a local competition soon. Oh,
Yeah.
Then he
That's
said, thanks for
gutsy.
letting me share my story. I am always looking for new ways to improve and growing in the barbecue world. I'm so excited to see Miguel in a local competition.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
That would be cool.
He just forgot to tell us where we can get your food, pal.
And if you're going to go to a
Miguel.
competition, make sure he is not the judge. And if you do not bring
Chicken. No
Do not
chicken.
do
chicken,
chicken.
please.
Bring those dino ribs. Don't bring
Please,
chicken.
bring everything but chicken.
Listen, I'm a professional. I can get past the fact that I just am disgusted by chicken thighs.
Yeah,
Okay?
Miguel, great email. Thanks for sending it in.
Thank you, Miguel. Thank you, Fredo.
Yeah, Fredo, thank you. You did a good job this week.
Well done, Fredo.
And meanwhile, Miguel, if you want to get back to us and give us a little contact, we'd love to share it on our YouTube channel, and maybe we'll hit you up for some of that barbecue to get in here and on the air. That'd be cool.
Great idea.
So thank you very much. And you are a made guy, so you're definitely going to have Fredo reach back with the email. And we got some gifts from Spidell or from All Temps. Or can we send him a sandwich from the Sandwich Shack? How would that work? Like a coupon?
You
They
can
have a
send-
gift
you can-
certificate or
These-
something? Or
we can get gift certificates. I don't know if like I said, they're relatively new at the Sandwich Shack, which is on 9 Cedar Swamp Road
Yeah.
in Smithfield. Just kind of a new operation. Great sandwiches. You can find them on sandwich-shack.com. Sandwich-shack.com. And you can
another podcast come dropping next Friday. So look to hear more from Charlie and I about the barbecue world and everything else that goes with it. And we're gonna. Oh, you know what? I know it was your idea. I don't know if you want to say it or not about having some of our guest hosts on and competitors and hearing from our audience of who they like to see on the show. If there's anybody that you met or want to meet or met and want to know more about, to get on this show and be very candid with our audience, and maybe we are going to get live. We're going to get to a live broadcast eventually, and when that happens, we'll have your questions answered online live. But meanwhile, if there's someone you'd like to endorse or a good idea for a show, please let us know as far as co-host goes, and we'll do our job and promote and try to sign some people up. We got plenty of folks that are competitors that are willing to do this, but meanwhile, we want to make sure we're getting the right people on the show. So please drop us a note. Let us know. You can drop it right in the comments of this video, and of course, please like and subscribe. It means a lot. We're a new station. This is just our 9th week, and we want to keep going, and we need to grow some ground here. So take a minute, hit that subscribe button, click that bell, and we appreciate it. So anything else?
No, I just listen. In the coming weeks, we've got we'll have Tommy back for a spot. I've got a little gift for him that I got from a distillery in Connecticut a weekend ago, and I'd love to hear his opinion. Tommy's, in addition to being a professor of all things meat, Tommy is also a very connoisseur of bourbon and whiskey, and I would love to hear his opinion on the stuff I brought back from Connecticut. And I'm going to do a little exploration on Korean barbecue, and there's actually a few places around here that do it, and we'll talk about that in the future too.
Cool. Great. Jasmine, you got anything coming up you can think of? You're just going to run your circuit and see what comes back?
Now I'm just going to go on and try to get my homework done, trying to get in touch with this girl, Liliana Gutierrez.
Yeah.
I would love to hear back from her, and definitely I will look into that.
Awesome. All right, folks. Well, thank you very much for joining us again, and have a great weekend, and we'll catch up with you real soon.
Ciao.
Adios.
Vayan con Dios.
Vaya con Dios.